Hi there, welcome to Yoga Nomad and our online beginners course. This is week 4, session 5, and we're going to work a little bit more into the hip mobility in this session. Okay, so we're going to add lizard pose in today. We're going to have a little look at the outer hips a bit more, so looking at pigeon pose and shoelace pose. But as always, you do you. You do whatever feels good. If something doesn't feel right, then you don't do it or you modify. Blocks may help you with this one, but again, not essential. Or maybe a cushion, if you've got a cushion to hand, that may be helpful during this session. Okay, so let's start sitting up nice and tall and just find our breath just for a moment. So nice, big, long, slow inhales and exhales through the nose. Remember, try and get that breath all the way into the belly. Just take one more. Nice. Okay, bringing the soles of your feet together, finding your Baddha Konasana or your bound angle. So grabbing a hold of those toes, and you're going to kind of pull on the feet and at the same time push on the knees. So it's quite an active pose this. It looks like you're just sitting, but in fact you're not. You really are making those inner thighs open up a little bit. You're also working into the biceps, which is unusual in a yoga pose. So make the most of it. Gently pull, work those biceps a little bit, then push those knees. And obviously taking those deep breaths in and out through the nose. Take one more. Paying close attention to how those inner thighs, those hip flexors are feeling. Nice. Okay, release. And then move the feet a little bit further out so you've got that lovely diamond shape in between the legs. Grab a hold of those toes again. Take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to draw the chest down. Big deep breath in and out through the nose. And again. Let's do one more. Nice. Slowly sitting yourself all the way up, crossing the legs over. Place the hands onto the knees, and we're just going to take some big circles all the way around. So moving into that lower back a little bit. And then change direction, send the body the other way. Try and make those circles as big as you can. Nice, bring yourself all the way back to the center, and then let's find all fours. So making sure wrists are under shoulders, your knees are hip distance apart, and we're going to have a little closer look now to see what's happening in the hips. So taking your left leg out to the side, and you're going to start to make some big circles with this left knee. So noticing what's happening in this hip. Are there any clicks, any pops, any resistance in there? Nice, change direction. Try and make these circles as big and as slow and controlled as you can, so you can really pay attention. Nice, bringing that knee down, and then let's do the same on the other side, lifting that left leg out, that right leg out to the side, sorry, and make those big circles all the way. Ooh, you might notice clicking. I know I do in this side. Oh, change direction. Nice. Okay, come back to that tabletop, just taking that little shimmy into those hips. And then we're going to take our low lunge position. So stepping your right foot in between those hands. And then, so obviously making sure this knee and ankle are all in line as always in your lunge position. And then see if you can just wiggle this back knee back a little bit. So just figure out what it feels like here in this left hip flexor. Take a big breath. Try and allow everything to soften. Nice. Now we're going to move into our lizard pose from here. So all you're going to do is move this front foot, this right foot, right to the edge of your mat. So it's like a wider stance in your lunge position. Bringing that right hand to the inside of this front foot and placing the hands, making sure they're underneath the shoulders so everything is in line. So the only thing that's changed is this right leg has gone a bit wider. Now, you may find this is enough. You may well be able to get down onto those elbows. That might be too much. This is where a block might be handy. So you may be able to come somewhere in between and resting on the block. We're going to take 5 deep breaths here. So try and allow the hips to soften. Try and relax the jaw. So no tension anywhere. Taking one more breath. Nice. Now, if you can, we are going to turn to face this right knee and you're going to let the knee fall out to the side. So you're coming onto the outside edge of this front foot. If you can, turn to face this leg, placing your right hand on the knee and just gently see if you can ease it out a little bit more. Take a big deep breath. Nice. Turn to face front, planting that foot back down on the ground. And then we're going to find our pigeon pose on this same side. So we're going to slide this right foot in, planting that shin down. Now making sure this shin is on a diagonal. So the knee should come right to the edge of your mat and your right foot should be somewhere by your left hip. Okay, try and allow the hips to soften down here, noticing what it feels like here in this hip area, maybe this lower back area. Take a big deep breath. Make sure that back leg's nice and straight. You're on the top of your back foot. Take another breath. Nice. Now take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, we're going to fold all the way down. If you can, resting the head down so no pressure in the neck. And big deep breaths, beginning to notice your outer right hip. What's it telling you right now? Two more breaths. Nice, okay, slowly coming up, hands to the floor. And then we're going to find that tabletop position again. So nice and slowly moving back into that all fours, taking that little shimmy from side to side. Okay, now we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Bearing in mind, it might feel completely different on this side. Okay, so stepping that left foot forwards. Let's find that low lunge position. Wiggling that back knee back if you can, depending on what the hip flexor is telling you on this right side. Take a big breath. Try and allow the hips to soften. Let's do one more. Nice, and moving into that lizard lunge from here. So wiggling this front foot to the edge of your mat. Bring your left hand to the inside of this front foot, making sure that both hands are under the shoulders, so your wrists are under the shoulders. Again, notice how it feels. Maybe you can get down onto those elbows, but just again, work with what you've got. You may have more space in this side, you may have less. Find your breath. Just 2 more. Nice, then you're going to turn to face this left leg, hand onto the knee and let the foot just fall out to the side, ever so gently, don't force anything. Take 3 big breaths. Nice, come all the way back. Coming up onto the hands if you're not already there. And then let's find that pigeon pose on this side. So moving this left foot in, shin is on that diagonal. So making sure your left knee is right to the edge of your mat and your left foot is by your right hip. Just allow those hips to just soften down. Take a big breath. How does it feel on this side? Does it feel different? Sometimes it does. Okay, now take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, folding all the way down. This time noticing how that outer left hip feels. One more. Nice. Slowly coming all the way back up, finding that tabletop position again. Taking that usual little shimmy from side to side. And then we're going to work a little bit more into our outer hips. And we're going to take our shoelace pose. So one of the ways you can get into this shoelace pose is from your tabletop position. So that's what we'll try today. So you're going to slide your right knee forwards and you're going to cross it over your left. See if you can bring the knees together. And then flip out the feet. Yep, so take the feet out as far as you can. And then you're slowly going to sit the bottom back and maybe it'll touch the ground. If it doesn't, if you're somewhere stuck up here, maybe grab a block or 2 blocks, stick them underneath that bottom and see if that helps. So sit up nice and tall, grab a hold of those feet, relax the face, relax the jaw. How does this feel now on this outer right hip? A little more intense than the pigeon pose that we've just done. See how it feels. Use your breath. See if your breath will allow your hips to soften a little bit more. This is one of those poses that people can really struggle with when they first start. Last one. Nice. Now we've got to unravel ourselves from this. So however you unravel yourself, but you can just roll forwards and come out exactly the way you came in, if that works. But however works for you, shimmy those hips and then let's try the other side. So maybe have those blocks handy if you need them to pop under that bottom if you need it. So sliding that left leg forwards, crossing it over the right. Try and bring the knees together and then flip out those feet. And then slowly walking back. Maybe the bottom touches the ground, maybe it's not anywhere near yet. But wherever you're at, breathe. Find your breath. Try not to have any tension anywhere. If this is just awful for you right now, making sure you're not clenching into that jaw. Try not to let the body know so much. Big deep breaths. So blocks or a cushion under the bottom can assist you in this pose. I mean, you may not have noticed until right this moment that your outer hips are tight, which again is quite usual. One more breath. Nice. Okay, now this time, hands behind and start to unravel from this seated position, nice and slowly. And then you're going to take your legs out, nice and wide. Remember finding your point, no further than that. Sit up nice and tall. Take a big breath in. And as you breathe out, start to fold forwards to the point that feels right for you. Big deep breaths. Notice if that breath will allow you to get a bit deeper. So take that breath in. And on the exhale, can you lower a little bit more? One more. Inhale. And exhale. You've got a little bit more in you. Nice. Okay, slowly coming all the way up. And then you're going to turn and face your right leg. Sit up nice and tall. Take a breath in. And as you breathe out, fold over this right leg. Make sure you keep this left hip pushed back. So don't let this left bum cheek lift from the ground. Take a breath. Notice where you feel the breath. So when you breathe in, where does it go? Can you feel it down this left side of the body? Nice. Come all the way back up to the centre. And nice and slowly turn to face the left leg. Big breath in. And as you breathe out, fold over this side. Remembering to keep this right hip down. Noticing the breath. One more. Nice. Okay, slowly coming all the way back up to the centre. And then draw those legs together. And then we're going to lie down on the ground. So we'll just take a quick bridge pose. So make sure you can touch the back of your heels, assuming that doesn't hurt the knees when you lift. If it does, then maybe step the feet out a little bit more. So take a big breath in here. And as you breathe out, we're going to lift the hips. So this time you'll feel a stretch in the front of the hip flexors here. Take a big breath. And again. Just one more. And then slowly lowering down. Draw the knees into the chest. And we'll finish off with our happy baby. Soles of the feet to the sky. Flexing those feet. See if you can grab the outside edges of your feet. And then gently draw the knees down, wider than the rib cage. So you're pulling them into the armpits, keeping the bottom on the ground. So don't let that back and bottom lift off the mat. Take a big breath. And one more. And last one. Nice. Hooking the knees into the chest. Take a little rock. Roll from side to side. And then grab behind those hamstrings and let's rock ourselves up to a seat. Sitting yourself up nice and tall. Big breath in, reach all the way up. Palms come together, breathing out. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me today. I'll see you next time. Do let me know how you get on. Bye for now.